When you were a judge, you gave, for example, a former colleague of mine, Arnab Goswami, you were heading a vacation bench at the time. You speedily granted him bail, rightly so, we believe, because the manner in which he had been confined, I believe, was he had been wrongfully confined, and therefore you gave him bail speedily. Then you have a Siddique Kapan, another journalist, lesser known, spends more than 2 years in jail and is not granted bail. And I can give you a number of cases where individuals who perhaps do not have the same access or are not VVIPs do not get bail instantly. So the entire law of bail seems to be dependent on selectivity and who the judge is. I hear from senior lawyers, if I go before a particular judge, I know I won't get bail. And there's been this talk that that's one of the reasons why adjournments are sought, or you withdraw a particular case from a particular judge. Does that again trouble you? We are coming to the administration of justice, whether bail is also very selective.
You know, Rajdeep, let me make it very clear. So far as I'm concerned, and I've said this before, I granted bail to Mr. Arnab Goswami.
Yes.
But I also granted bail to Zubair.
Yes.
So therefore I said, well, I have granted bail from A to Z. And that was my own personal philosophy, that you must grant bail, particularly in a certain category of offences. Now, you've highlighted...
But you was missing.
Yes.
Umar Khalid, he didn't appear before you, but he may have gone before another judge.
I'll deal with that. Exactly the point which you are making. I don't want to duck that issue. I want to respond to that. One of the issues which a lot of people have spoken about, say, our courts today, is that we are polycentric courts or polyvocal courts, not really polycentric. That's Lon Fuller's phrase. We are polyvocal courts. Now, what is meant by a polyvocal court? With the kind of volume of litigation which we have, say 80,000 cases, 70,000 cases being filed every year in the Supreme Court. No Supreme Court in the world, perhaps except for the Brazilian Supreme Court, deals with this kind of inflow of cases. Now, as a result, what happens is this. You have 34 judges in the Supreme Court. Obviously, all 34 can't sit down together and deal with one case, because then you wouldn't be dealing with cases. So we sit in batches of 2. We sit occasionally in batches of 3, but usually in batches of 2 judges. So you have 17 benches. Now, with 17 benches deciding cases, you're bound to have a polyvocal court where, personal predispositions of judges. In a very abstract sense, Rajdeep, it shouldn't make a difference as to which bench you go before. But you have to accept that, different judges have different predispositions, the way they think about our social life, the way they think about the law. When I was a lawyer, you would have judges who would be a little more, favorable to labor. Other judges felt that, our law had gone to the extreme in protecting the rights of labor and not protecting the rights of industry. So, you have different philosophies among judges. Should these be there? Should they not be there? The fact of the matter is you cannot avoid it.